I want to tell you something that most people aren't aware of. You actually don't need to hire a real estate agent when you're selling your house. I know, right? Crazy. But there's just a little problem. Selling a house is a lot of work. So that's why most people prefer to have somebody else do it for them. In this video, I'm going to explain how you can sell your house on your own and save thousands of dollars on real estate commissions. Hey, how's it going? My name is Steve Lopresti. I'm a real estate agent here in Hamilton, Ontario. So if you have any questions about how to sell your house with or without an agent, it's up to you. You can reach out to me. My contact info is up there on the screen. All right, so first things first, I want to stress the importance of being properly prepared before you list your home for sale. Neglecting this is leaving money on the table. The home will take longer to sell, which means you're going to get a lot of lowball offers, and these are discouraging and also pretty annoying, so you want to avoid that. These will be the only offers that you get, if you get any, when you rush into listing too fast. So make sure that you take your time, follow these tips so that you can sell quickly and also for the most money possible. Now, the first thing that you need to do is to pick the price that you're going to ask for your house. Correctly setting this price is critical. Listing too high can be just as detrimental as listing too low. So remember this next point, it may save your life. The asking price is not the final sale price. Rather, the asking price is meant to position your home in such a way that it gets the most interest from potential buyers. Listing at a price that's too high above the actual fair market value of your home will just cause those good, motivated buyers to look elsewhere. Imagine you as a buyer, you were going and looking at these two houses and they're identical. Which one are you actually going to take a look at? You're going to take a look at the one that's priced really, really high, or you're going to take a look at the one that's priced more reasonably according to market conditions. It's a question to ask yourself. Listing it too high will make it take longer to sell, and then that means those dreaded low ball offers are coming in, which you don't want to be dealing with. So when you're setting your price, you're going to want to look at what sold in your neighborhood in the last couple months. Don't go back too far. Don't look at houses that sold during COVID and cherry pick the ones that sold really, really high and then use that as your comparable. You don't want to be doing that because that's just going to give you an unrealistic expectation. Go back a couple months, not a couple years. Compare your house objectively to those ones that sold in the last couple months. Look at the different features that they had, that this one had relative to yours, and then use that to determine the price that is reasonable for your house. All right, so now that you have your price and you didn't list too high, right? It's time to stage your house. You want to make a good first impression on any potential buyers that come through. So you're going to want to clean the place up, make any necessary repairs, change out any of those burnt out light bulbs, make sure the place looks bright and inviting, and make the place look neutral. Take down any photos of friends and family because you want people to go through the house and picture themselves living there, which is pretty hard to do with a bunch of photos of strangers all over the walls. Another thing that you want to keep in mind, if at all possible, is to avoid moving out of the house before you sell it. A vacant home can make the property look abandoned and less appealing to buyers. Now, you can always hire a staging company who will bring in furniture if you have already moved out, but that can be pretty pricey. So if you can, you want to avoid that. The house being vacant can also signal to buyers that you've bought a new home and could be motivated to sell quickly, which gives them an advantage at the negotiating table. All right, so your house is looking fresh as a daisy and it's ready to hit the market. Not so fast. Are you prepared to deal with all the legal stuff that comes with selling a house? There's a lot. So at this point, you're going to want to lawyer up. A lawyer will handle all of the legal stuff that comes with selling a house. So you might be able to avoid realtor fees, but one thing you can't avoid is lawyers. They will make sure that everything required, it gets handled, and they will keep you from getting sued, saving you potentially thousands of dollars. So shop around, talk to a few lawyers, let them know that you're trying to sell your house without an agent, and then pick the one that is right for you. All right, so you're now fully prepared to hit the market. So how are people actually going to know that you have a house for sale? Beyond just a sign on the lawn, you want to make sure that your listing is all over the internet. If you have social media, make a post telling all your followers that you're selling. Take a couple photos as well so you have something to share with prospective buyers. Now, it might be worth it at this point to hire a professional photographer to take some photos of your house because high quality photos make a huge difference when it comes to selling a house. Additionally, you're going to want to make sure that you put out an ad on Facebook Marketplace and Kijiji for free, and then you can even consider, if you want to pay a little bit of money, you can do a paid ad to get a bit of a wider reach for your listing. All right, so just a quick tip. When posting to Facebook Marketplace for free, you're going to want to make sure that you join all the buy, sell, and trade groups in your local area, as well as the local real estate groups. You'll also want to mention your listing to anybody who will listen. Friends, family, people in the neighborhood, if you're out walking your dog, the guy who makes your sandwich at Subway, and anybody else. So you also want to talk to a local print shop and get some flyers made. Now, you can mail these out to everybody in your neighborhood, or you can go around door to door telling people that you have a house for sale, because who knows, maybe they have some friends or family who are thinking of moving to that area might want to take a look. Now, this is obviously more time intensive to go around and do something like that, but this will have a much bigger impact. So if you followed all the steps I've previously mentioned, by now you should be receiving some offers and hopefully some good ones. Will you take $7 in a pack of breath mints? What, are you kidding me? That's outrageous. Yeah, but they're spearmint flavored, so I mean, come on. So now that you've received an offer, it's time to come to an agreement with your buyer. You want to make sure that you remain cool during this process. Most buyers don't start with their best offer. They usually have a little bit more wiggle room, so just keep that in mind. It's not too often that the very first offer that you'll get from them is the best that they can possibly do. Now, you're going to want to consider all the elements of their offer as a whole. The price is not the only thing, right? Maybe they have a little bit lower price than you wanted, but their closing date is exactly what you need for your situation, depending on what you're doing. Or on the flip side, they have a good price, but their closing date isn't for 80 years from now. You want to weigh all the different variables together when you're negotiating an offer. There are many details that need to be resolved before the sale can be considered final. That's obviously price, then you have conditions, closing date, home inspections, buyer revisits, and so on. You want to make sure that you fully understand all the details of the contract that you have drawn up. I really wish I knew how to read. I know, contracts are boring, but you want to be aware of what you are agreeing to and what your responsibilities are. If not, it could cost you a lot of money. So make sure that you have the contract fully examined by your real estate lawyer. So hopefully you were able to sell your house on your own and walk away with a fat stack of cash. To determine whether or not you will actually end up ahead by choosing to sell on your own rather than listing with a real estate agent, you're going to want to consider a couple of different things. The first is that most buyers use a real estate agent. Most home buyers will use a real estate agent because it doesn't cost them anything to use their services. The buyer's agent and the listing agent are usually paid by the seller out of the proceeds from the sale. Now, you don't have to pay the buyer's agent, but this is just something to keep in mind because it might be less attractive for a buyer to purchase your house versus another one because they'll now be on the hook for paying their agent themselves. Something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is that many of the buyers, investors, and speculators who look for that for sale by owner sign are doing so because they're in search of a bargain. So typically a lot of the offers you will get from those types of buyers will be low balls. So that's again just something to look out for. So I hope that these tips will be helpful for you and you'll be able to sell your house quickly and profitably. Now, if after applying all the tips you're still having some trouble, you can always feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to see if I'm able to help. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.